how you doing? Oh, are you the owner of this place?
Oh, hey, yeah. That would explain why I'm stuffing parts in my pockets.
Okay, great. I'm Sean, the new sales rep from E-Z Wurkz, the least trusted name in power equipment. I wanted to see if you were interested in trying out some new products.
Oh, okay. Is this stuff any good?
Well, you know the E-Z Wurkz motto. If it doesn't suck, it'll definitely blow.
All right, great. I'm sold. Let's see what you got. Oh, I dropped that. Can't wait to see these products, Sean.
Here's our new POS 8500 handheld blower, our top of the bottom of the line model. Give it a shot.
Whoa, that thing's a POS.
What did you pour in there? My boss is gonna unalive me.
It's pretty obvious that your product's defective, all right? That's just regular 2-cycle mix. That wouldn't do that.
You could be right. It was a bottom of the line model. It's had a few issues, you know. But try this POS 5500 push mower. You're gonna love the handle.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. And I see it has the personal waste drive system on there. I like that. Let me take it across the street there. Whoa, what the heck is wrong with this thing?
Gee willikers, why does this keep happening? My boss is gonna be so upset.
Pterodactyl here. Today's video is going to be on this here John Deere S120. And you'll never guess what's wrong with this one. It's got a broken spark plug.
Well, it's a broken spark plug, Taryl. That should be easy enough to fix. All you got to do is put a spark plug wrench on there and take the spark plug out. Because they usually break where the ceramic is. Somebody probably hit it with a hammer or tried to take it out with an impact wrench.
No, grass rats. This one's broken a little differently. Alright, check out how this spark plug broke. And don't ask me how it broke. I asked the customer, he didn't know either. They never know. But somehow things magically break. So look, it broke all the ceramic and everything clear off. There's not even a spot to put the spark plug wrench. The hex part of the spark plug is gone. The only part in there is the threaded part. So I gotta try to get that out. I got an idea on how to get it out. But to give you a little bit better understanding of what broke, in case you couldn't see, just this part of the spark plug is in there. This part. In case it's hard for you to see in there. This is all gone. And obviously, they must, when they put the plugs together, they must somehow fuse it or crimp it right in this area. Because if you look at this NGK plug, which isn't the same plug that's in there, because this is a brakes and scrap 'em. It'd have one of those RJ12 YCs in there. It broke right here. So I gotta find an easy out. If I got one big enough that's gonna fit in there. So let me see what I got. If not, I'm gonna have to make it easy out. How are you gonna make it easy out, Taryl? How do you make one of them? Well, if I don't have one that'll fit, there I got all my drawer of taps and easy outs. Here's a big one. This is too big. That won't fit in there. That's too big an easy out. Where's the easy out? I may not have the right size. That's the thing, yeah, see? That's that is not the right size. Now you grass rats out there may run into the same problem. Taryl, I ran into the same problem. I didn't have it easy out. That was the right size. All right, here's one. Let's see if this one will work. This is kind of a cheap one. Let's see if this one will work. If not, we'll have to make one. If this one works, I will still show you how to make one. So, first thing I'm going to want to do is tap it with a hammer to kind of get it to seat in there. And make sure that that E-Z out is going to fit tight in there. And then we'll put this on there, a croissant wrench, and see if we can get this thing out. And guess what? It ain't coming out. It's screwed in there, but it is not letting the spark plug out. No, that's not working. That is not working. And being a spark plug, it shouldn't be in there that tight. So, another trick is to make one out of a bolt. Here's a bolt. And what you do is you grind flats on it at a taper. You want to taper it. So let's see, will this one fit in there? That I made for something else? It will not fit. Alright. So I need to make one. Let me see if I have any other homemade ones in here. And that one's too small. Yeah. So I need to get a bolt. And we're going to grind a bolt. And we're going to see if we can get this out. Because they took it to a few other shops, and you know what they wanted to do? They said, we can't get that out. There's no way in God's green earth that we're going to be able to get that out without putting a new head on it. And we want to charge you a lot of money to do that. There's no way we can get that out. That's what they said. You need to take it to somewhere else. So here's a 1/2-inch bolt. 1/2 inch in diameter, which doesn't fit in there, but it kind of fits in there. And that's what we want. So now I'm going to take it on the bench grinder and I'm going to grind some flats on it at an angle. All right, there's our homemade poor man's hillbilly E-Z out. Let's see if it works. Stick it in there. Give it a few good whacks. Let's see if we can get that thing out of there. That attempt failed.
It's not coming out, Taryl. Taryl!
All right, I'm going to grind more of a radius on it so I can get it to get in there deeper. Let's not give up yet. I've done this before and it's worked. Trust me. All right, I ground more of a point to it. Try to grab in there.
It's not coming out.
I don't know why this plug would be in there that tight to begin with. That it actually broke the plug off. And a lot of times when you're hitting it like this, you're kind of shocking that space because there is a little space between the threads, you know. So a lot of times when you whack on it like this, kind of freeze that up some. I don't want to catch my knuckles on anything. Man, I didn't think it was going to be this hard to get out. I've done this before on broken like pipe fittings that got pipe thread. I've made these easy outs and taken stuff out. With this one, I may have to weld this. I may have to weld it to what's left of that plug and take it out that way. Alright, so now you can really see where the spark plug broke. Here's some of the ceramic that's left. And this thing is really in there. And even with my hillbilly E-Z out, which usually works, it was gripping, it's just not taking it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld it. I'm going to weld it in there now. So I got to go get the welder and weld it, and then we're going to try to see if we can get it out. Plus it looks like Fluffy had put a nest in there. Look at all this crap. Look at all this. Fluffy. So we want to get that out of there so we don't start a fire. I'll get the air blower or a shop vac and we'll blow that out. All right. See what happens now. Maybe I need a bigger croissant. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. The heck? The heck did they put this spark plug in with? Trying to move it back and forth. This is unbelievable. I've never had anything like this. I've never experienced anything like this. Starting to break the weld. And I'll put some more weld on it. I got it to move a little. Kind of hard to weld all the way around it. All I did was break the rest of the thing off. That is unbelievable. Grass Rat, you are seeing this. Look at that. Now I broke that other part of it off. That is crazy. Why is that thing stuck in there so bad? On this just basic brakes and scrap them. All right. Well, let's make another hillbilly E-Z out and see if we can get that remaining piece out. I don't mean peace out. I mean the peace out. You know, not just peace out. Okay, we're gonna try a few tricks here because I'm a trickster. First trick I'm gonna do is try to heat this up. You know what this reminds me of, this broken spark plug? And I know you grass rats out there are gonna agree and say the same thing. Ford had a V8 truck, and when you try to take the plugs out, they would snap off like this. Remember that, grass rats, in the mid 2000s? So I'm gonna heat this up. Because I can get an E-Z out in there now, because it's a smaller hole than before. And then I'm going to try that wax trick, where it sucks in the wax, and the wax will get into the threads, hopefully. I don't think I heated it up enough. Didn't want to melt that wax. Might end up melting the aluminium. Come on. Come on, wax. Get in them threads. Do your trick. Alright, so I got an E-Z out. That'll fit in there now. If this works, I'll be happy as Larry. But I got a feeling it ain't gonna work. This thing, what these E-Z outs do sometimes is all they do is they put a bunch of pressure on it and push it out against the threads, and then you still can't get it out. Especially if it's locked in, or why is this thing locked in there like that? That is just crazy. That's why I go the extra mile. And those other shops just want to just put a head on it and be done with it, Taryl. Yeah, that thing ain't coming out. I don't know why. That is, I've never experienced this. Maybe you grass rats have. If you have, comment below. I mean, I've had plugs break off, but they break off at the top. I've never had one. What's that bigger croissant? I've never had one where it's like this. I thought, oh, this will be an easy fix. I'll just get in there with an E-Z out. I mean, I'm gonna try. What do I got to lose? Not gonna hurt anything. Now look at that. I'm really putting a lot of pressure on it, and that thing will not come out. Well, I guess we're drilling. So for 15 millimeter tap, 30 seconds drill. And to help control some of the chips from going into the cylinder, I'm gonna put some grease on there. So we got a little bit of glue for the chips to stick to. And if some of them get in there, it ain't gonna hurt anything. I know I've done this before. Other Helicoil, get the chips in there, you're gonna ruin everything, Taryl, it's gonna ruin that engine. It ain't gonna ruin nothing. Stop with the nonsense. Plus the drill wants to kind of spit the chips out. There we go. There's our dinner. All right, I'll get a Q-tip and clean most of that out, and then we're going to chase it with a 14 millimeter spark plug tap device thing. So again, 15-30 seconds, that's the size drill for 14 millimeter spark plug threads, just to be clear. So the threads, the original threads, are still in here. You just ruined that engine, Taryl. You did this, you did that. It's all ruined. Oh, the carnage. Oh, the chips. Well, if that's the case, I'll put a new engine on it for them. I'll make it right. But I've done this before. Many, many times. And nothing's ever come back. So stop with the nonsense. Okay, so I got the tap for my Helicoil kit, which is for spark plug helicoils, because it's got the original spark plug threads here, and I could not get it to start threading. So then I thought, well, let me go up the next size drill, 31/64, kind of give it a lead so I can get in there. And that was too big, so it kind of ruined the thread. So now I got to put a Helicoil in it. So again, I'm going to pack it with grease to catch the chips, most of the chips. Ponch and John, remember them from Chips? And then I'm going to open it up to this size, and then I'm just going to put a Helicoil in it. Spark plug Helicoil. And now, I've done this before. We did a video on this, and of course, you know, you get all them knuckleheads that, you're just gonna ruin all that stuff. You ruin this stuff. I don't know what you do. Well, guess what? They do this all the time on cars. When they have broken plugs, they're not gonna pull the head on the car when it's got broken plugs or stripped out threads. This is what they do. This is how I learned this trick. So we just got to get it to start and start to get this other section going here. And I've done this on chainsaws, I don't know how many times. Chainsaws have come in. Stripped out threads, and they take it to a dealer or a still dealer or whatever, and they're like, oh, you can't put threads in there like that. You gotta replace the whole piston and cylinder assembly, and yeah, you just can't go in there willy-nilly. And yeah, and I've done it, I don't know, probably 100 times on chainsaws with stripped out threads, and nobody's ever come back. What you did, you put them helicoils in there, it ruined my chainsaw, them chips got in there, it just ruined everything. No, never happened. But this thing is really giving me the flux. Alright, here we go. There we go. Now we're ready for helicoil action. We're through now. Blow it out real good. Now I'm gonna go get the Helicoil kit. So here's my Helicoil kit, in case you don't know what one of these is. Helicoil spark plug thread repair kit. Look at that. They make a kit to repair spark plugs. And they got all different lengths. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch length. Because as you thread it, it's gonna do this. So it's gonna make it deeper. So you stick the Helicoil on the end. It's got a little tab on there, which locks in. Then you thread it into here. And then I like to get one thread at least exposed to help me thread it in there. Because all this does is guide it. You square it up. You'll feel it. Start the thread in. And then this tube here, I like to pull on that a little bit. So I know when I got to the end of it, it'll come back at me. See? Now I know I got all the threads in there. And then I can see the end right here. I need to go a little bit more. There's the end of the Helicoil, which we want to be threaded in there. That thing's gonna come out of there, Taryl. Those things don't work. Yeah, they work. I've been doing it a long time, like I said. I've never had any problems. And if you have been doing this and have problems, well then obviously you're doing it wrong. Or you're doing something wrong. But there it is. It's in there. Actually, I could go a little bit deeper. Because sometimes if you use too deep, too long of a reach, then you're going to have a couple of threads that are going to be left inside. Now, I don't need the tube on here this time. That goes over it. Because all I want to do is thread it in a little deeper. So I'm just going to stick it in there. And then it'll catch that little tab on the end. There. I shoved it in about another thread. It looks pretty even from what I can see. You probably can't see it. Now I have to get in there and grab that little tab that's on the end of the Helicoil, this thing, and see there's a little notch. And that's so you can grab it and it'll snap off. They even make a tool for grabbing it and breaking it off, but I just use a pair of needle nose pliers, which I should have a pair here on this welding cart. Yeah, by the time I dig them out, I can just walk over here. Of course, they're missing from over here, as usual. Everything's missing. That's what happens when you got multiple people using your tools. I don't have one of them. I want to use yours. See, I broke the little tab off. Alright, so let's put a set of plugs in it and start it so I can ruin this engine. So it's an RC12YC. This is a Brakes and Scrap 'em brand plug that I use. Look at there, looky there. So let's tighten it down so tight that it'll never come out again. All right. Now I'll put that heat shield on later. This really needs to be grounded though. So let's just ground it to here. Where can I ground it to? Nope. I'll just get a ground wire and hook a ground wire to it. It should be grounded. So, of those of you that don't know what this is the voltage regulator, which is mounted to here. In case you don't remember from when I took it off. So we just want to ground it. Because if it's dancing around, it's going to start arcing and sparking. And of course, I got some kind of crappy alligator clips here. Here we go, fumbling around. Now you don't want that by the starter. All right, let me get some better way of grounding that. You know what? Let me just put the cover back on. All right, we were cranking it over and it was making a heck of a racket. And you know why that is? Because you were all saying, there's part of that spark plug still in there, Taryl. Taryl, you need to pull that head. Taryl, 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 Taryl. Look what I found laying on the floor. That's the electrode. Where's that other part, Mr. Cameraman? Right here. Look at this. Look at that. You know what that is? That's part of the treads. So, this is what I think happened. This is nothing we did. I think that spark plug came apart. And that's why it wouldn't come out. Because it got all twisted and bent and trashed in there. And it hammered against the plug. And that's why we're having all this trouble. So I put that brand new plug in there. And I cranked it over off camera because we wanted to see if it would start. Because I don't know if this thing starts. Because they brought it in with the broken spark plug. And look what it did. Look at it, ruined that brand new plug already. Damaged it. See, that's this part here, which we found laying on the floor. So what we did is we cranked it over a bunch of times, and I was blowing the air blower in there while we were cranking it around, and these pieces come flying out of there. That's why we got the cover and everything off. So I'm going to stick another new plug in there, and let's see what happens. And if it still starts making a racket and stuff, then I'll just have to go ahead and pull the head. But yeah, that plug come apart and damaged everything inside. That's why that thing would not come out. That's why I couldn't get that little piece of spark plug out. I'm thinking, why won't that piece come out? It's not in there that tight. I should be able to put it easy out in there. It should just come right out. Well, not when pieces are flying around in there and they're getting hammered against the head. So let's see what happens. All we can do is ruin the engine. But hey, it's a John Deere. It's a cheap John Deere. Let's see what happens. Some kind of racket. Let's pull this plug back out. It did run though. Let's take a look at this plug. See if it's all trashed again. If it is, I'll have to pull the head. No? Well, didn't trash it like it did before. That noise that I heard, that could be pieces of the old spark plug that are probably laying in the muffin. And then we're running it, they're rattling around. But it didn't ruin the plug like it did this one. Because there were pieces still in there. The only thing I can do is run it. We'll run it for a while. We're not just going to give it back right away. We'll run it for a little bit and we'll see what happens. And if it's okay, we'll send it out. We'll let them know what the deal is. If it continues to have a problem, bring it back. I will take care of it. Not like I'm just going to send it out and, well, it's yours now. Well, it's too bad. You're going to pay again. I don't operate that way. Maybe shops in your area do. I don't. That's pieces of spark plug, I guarantee. There's pieces of spark plug in there. And it's like a kidney stone and it won't pass through. And it's making that horrible racket. So it's late. We've been messing with this thing quite a while. I'm just going to have to tear it down. We're just going to have to rip it apart and see what the heck is in there. So stay tuned. It's late, like I said. I want to get the heck out of here. Tomorrow's another day. Okay, grass rats, this is what I found when I disassembled this engine. We already knew that there was something inside the combustion chamber that was beating around in there. So you could see where it was hammering bits of that old spark plug. So this is the head that I put the new Helicoil in. And you can see the hammer marks on there. Everything's been hammering on it. You can see where it hammered on here and hammered on there. But yet we ran it and we still had that ticking noise or that hammering noise. So I'm spinning the flywheel. I had the other head on. I'm spinning the flywheel around by hand and I kept hitting a hard spot. I kept hitting it. And then sometimes it would hit, and then sometimes it would run smooth. So I'm like, okay, there's something else going on here. So I take the plug out of this side, and I start looking in here, and that hard spot was hitting right when this is at top dead center on this side. I'm like, okay. There's something going on this side. But our bad spark plug was on this side. So what had happened is a piece of that spark plug that had broken off, this is my guess, before I pulled this other head off, had passed through the intake manifold and transferred itself over to here. It wouldn't be on the exhaust side because that's pushing everything out. It's got to be on the intake because we're pulling it in. So sure enough, I pull this head off and look at the hammering on this side. Look at how this has all been hammered on. There was something that got in there that hammered on this side. Here's the head that I helicoiled. That's got the new spark plug in it that had broken off. Not as bad. This side all hammered on, especially right over here. So I'm looking around. I'm like, what was in there? And I found this. This is what I found. You know what that is? That's the electrode. That's the electrode from the spark plug. When it broke off of that bad plug, which doesn't happen often, That's this. That's the tip. That's this thing right here. Because this is the plug from the other side. This is the original plug. This is the Champion that came in that motor. This is the one that traveled through here into here and was hammering on this side, but it didn't do any damage to this plug because it just stayed in this part here. You can see right here, because it was, when I took this apart, it was like right in this area, right like that. So when the piston comes up, it comes up real close to this area here. And then it probably fell out and danced around, and then it got wedged in here. You can see another divot right there. So it was right in here. So that's what was making that noise. Piece of spark plug found its way to the other side. So I got to put 2 new head gaskets on. There's a little bit of, I don't know what that is, probably old spark plug, probably ceramic. No big deal. It'll probably pass through like a kidney stone. So I'll put 2 new head gaskets on here, 2 new intake manifold gaskets. We'll bolt everything down, torque it all down. Because the engine did run, it ran pretty good. And then it should be okay. But again, $4 part does a lot of carnage. And there's your dinner for now. Because now I got to put it back together. And then we'll run it. And you'll see. Oh, and another thing I wanted to say. Because I'm sure you're helicoiling that head. You helicoiled that head and all them chips got in here. This is the head. I didn't do anything. I didn't doctor this up. I didn't clean it. Because when I got in there, yeah, well, you didn't show us. You probably cleaned all that out. No. Clean as a whistle, Mr. Cameraman, get over here. Look in here. No chips from me, because I blew it out with the air. You can see where bits of the spark plug had hammered on the piston. No chips laying here, no Ponch and John laying down there. So there was nothing in there for me doing that helicoil repair. All right, so now let me get this thing back together and we'll fire it up, fire it up! Shut up! That guy gets stuck in your head. You can't get him out. Once he's stuck in your head, he don't come out. He's like that piece of spark plug stuck in your head. Well, I put it all back together, replaced both head gaskets. Now, as Elskin says, let's fire it up, fire it up, fire it up, and see if it's ticking. Would help if I push the brake down. Well, it ain't ticking anymore. Got all them pieces of spark plug out of there. Now, I was thinking, I don't know how that piece got from over here to over there. I don't know if maybe I blew it through there when I was blowing in there, but the amount of hammering marks on that piston, I think that piece of spark plug electrode made its way over there before this lawnmower made its way to our shop. Because this head was pretty dinged up from that, and I only ran it for a second or two, and it wouldn't have put that many dings in it. You know, this side was dinged up too, so that's a mystery. Let's discuss all that in the comments section below, how you thought that little piece of electrode made its way from here to there. It's almost like, you know, the chicken crossing the road thing. This is how did the electrode cross from one head to the other. Well, there you have it, grass rats. Broken spark plug. Thought it was going to be easy. Just remove it, put a new plug in it. And as usual, it's not as easy as you think. You always run into problems or situations. And again, excuse me, I don't know the whole story on this and how the spark plug broke or anything, because the people that own this tractor aren't the people who brought it in. Somebody else brought it in for them. And I guess it had been sitting a while. Broken, with the broken spark plug. So I don't know when this happened. I try to get the details, and of course you get these crazy stories and a bunch of I don't know. All I know is the plugs broke off. Can you get the spark plug out? They took it to several other places, like I said earlier. And they said, oh, you're going to have to do all this work. Well, they were right, those other places. You have to pull it all apart. But again, don't know all the details. All I know is the plug broke. Thought it was going to be an easy fix, and it wasn't an easy fix. So, follow me with your broken spark plugs on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Check out our web store. We got all kinds of stuff like this new hat. You like the flag? Zoom in on the flag there. Because the stars are nuts and the stripes are bolts. And we got the wrenches crossing. You know where this hat would look? On your skull. And we got koozies too that match it. Got the Nope shirt. Got all kinds of stuff. There's something there for you. Go check it out. And as always, there's your dinner. Woo! Broken spark plug. Fixed. Running like a top again. Now get out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I'm gonna take the line on.
What? You don't have a choice now. You owe me a lot of money for wrecking on my stuff. My boss is gonna fire me if I don't get reimbursed.
I don't see how this is my fault. It's your faulty products. It has nothing to do with me.
You poured rocket fuel or something in the blower and it blew up. Then you hit something with the push mower and ruined it.
All right. Calm down. I'll cover it, okay? Just step inside the showroom there and I'll be right in a minute to cut you a check, okay?
All right.
Just gotta check out something out here real quick. Psych!
Hey, you scumbag! Hey, your boss owes me a lot of money for wrecking all my stuff.
Boss, that guy doesn't work here. That's just some local scumbag that steals parts out of the showroom. I gotta run him off at least once a week.
Oh, great. I'm not leaving here until someone pays me for my trashed equipment.
Oh, okay. No problem. Let me go get my paw real quick.
Ah!